Hi there. Welcome back or welcome to Recovering Out Loud podcast, the show where we get real about mental health and addiction. I'm so glad you're here. If you or someone you love is struggling with drugs or alcohol, please reach out for help. Send me a message on all social media platforms at Recovering Out Loud Pod or by email at recoveringoutloudpod@gmail.com. You are no longer alone. Mary, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. I met you through a retreat that we had together, and it was a lovely, lovely experience. I know you had a similar experience as well. Yeah, how was that for you? Like being on a retreat with, you've done a few before too,
Yes,
right?
I've done many.
Yeah. How was that being, around a bunch of sober people for a weekend? There was lots of activities and meetings and stuff like that. What was that like for you?
To me, it's like heaven. It's like being at home. It's to connect with people that are just like me. There's no words for that. It's just blissful for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like there was a presence in every room, and I
Mm-hmm.
had a bunch of, I had known a few people there beforehand, but I didn't know everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of interactions with people here and there that were really meaningful conversations, and not those cocaine take over the world conversations. You've
Yeah.
had lots of those.
Paramount Pictures. We like to create movies.
Yeah,
And
Paramount. Yeah,
yeah.
I love it. Okay, well, I want everyone to, I've heard your story I've heard your story once now, and I thought it was, well said, powerful, but I think there's a message here that a lot of people need to hear. And so, let's just start with, childhood. What was childhood like for you?
It was difficult. It was. Oh, where do I start? I lost my mom when I was 4 years old. She had cancer. And there's three of us. I'm the baby of the family. And the three of us have this thing in our family with addiction and alcoholism. And there was a lot of. I grew up with a father who did the best he could, but there was a lot of trauma in our house. There was a lot of abuse. There was a lot of fear, tiptoeing around him, not to set him off, and strict, very strict. And yeah, I mean, it's, and you adapt to that, right? Like when I tell people my story now, and oh my God, you lost your mom at the age of 4. That must have been hard. Well, how can I miss something I didn't have?
Mm.
It's, you adapt. And when my mom died and my father had to keep working, my sister and my brother had to go to an orphanage Monday to Friday. We come from Montreal, and there was a big orphanage there, and I was too young, so I had to stay with my aunt until I became, I think, 5 or 6, and then I was able to go in. And in this orphanage, it was, boys of a certain age, uh, and then girls of a certain age. It was like divisive, and we were raised with nuns in there. So you could imagine. I mean, I was, when I look back, this sense of not feeling like I belong started from a very early age. And when I got into this orphanage, I was hanging out with these two girls, and they were like the badasses, and they had boyfriends, and I just, okay, if that's what it takes. I got myself a little boyfriend with glasses that's thick, and I didn't know what I was doing, right? This
Mm-hmm.
was just to fit in. And I remember, there was a big statue of the Virgin Mary, and when we went outside, and I went behind the Virgin Mary with this boy. And you know what? When you're 6 and you're kissing a boy or whatever, you don't know what you're doing. It's kind of gross. It's, a little bit of tongue, this, that, whatever. And I told the boy, when I count to 3, let's pull down our pants so to see what we look like. 1, 2, 3, pull down the pants, and the nun came and caught us. Oh my God. And I begged her, you could kill me, beat me, just don't tell my father about this. And I don't think she ever did. And I was 6 years old at the time, right? So I was looking for a place where I could fit. And that happened as I was growing up. Before I ever touched a line or a drink or whatever, I felt different. I felt looking to find myself, my identity. It was a confusing time. Yeah.
Yeah. What, can you describe what your first sort of earliest memory maybe with substances, what that was like for you?
So I was 17 years old. I had graduated high school in Montreal and I was already living on my own. And I was working in this restaurant in Montreal. I was the only girl. It was all waiters. And I hooked. Whoa, let me rephrase that. Hook up, I know means sex right now. So that was not the case.
Yeah, it used to be something different, right?
Yeah, but back then, hook up didn't mean let's plow. It was different. So I just became friends with this waiter and I told them, let's go back to my house, to my apartment and drink. And I remember I drank, we had Southern Comfort and stuff, and I drank half a bottle. And I was so sick the next day saying, oh my God, I'll never do this again. But even in doing that, like, who drinks half a bottle of alcohol their first time? Like, that's alarming.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know. I didn't want to know about the tipsy. I want to know what it's like to drink and get drunk. Right there, there's something wrong, right? It's not normal. So yeah, it was pretty vile. Yeah. That was my first experience.
Yeah. This kind of all the way thinking, right? This is
black or white, all or nothing, extreme. Yeah.
And so he had the alcohol, and what did you know about substances up until that point? Like growing up, it was around your house a lot, or?
So my sister and brother, social services were in our house because of the abuse my father inflicted. My sister and brother used to get severely beaten. My sister was a bit of a rebel. May she rest in peace. She's gone now, but she was the type of girl that would leave the house looking a certain way, get out of the house, and then wear the mini skirt, whatever, and get in trouble and that. So social services were there a lot, and they kept running away. They were put in foster homes and running away from there and stuff. And so I was left alone with my father, and I didn't know what substances were. I mean, I had heard of drugs, but I didn't know because I didn't see it. And I was forbidden to see my siblings because they were like the black sheep, and they were, they brought shame to the family. Meanwhile, let's not talk about what was going on in the house. Not going to talk about that shame because everything had to be swept under the rug. And I would see my sister in secret every once in a while. And by the time I reconnected with her, she was already dancing in the bar business. And she was hooked on drugs, on cocaine. And, but I would see her in secret. And I didn't know much about the drug then. But when I left on my own at 17, she came back into my life. And I lived with her and I saw the devastation of what that did to her. Yeah. So it was scary. It was infuriating. I didn't understand. These people that look like zombies when they're on this shit, and then they have no more and they're jonesing. And I used to watch her cry, coming down, wanting to kill herself, always listening to these sad songs. It was like, those Westerns, I lost my dog, and, those sad songs when you're sad and stuff. And I always said to myself, I will never do that. Today's lesson is never say never. Yeah.
Especially in recovery. Yeah, for a long time, I didn't think, I never said I wasn't going to relapse, but I didn't think that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I was on social media yesterday, and I was reading a post. I don't know why I'm thinking this now, but I feel moved to say it. I was reading this thing where they were talking about relapse it's a part of recovery. It can be a part of recovery, but it doesn't have to be, right? And I fully believe that, support that 100%. But these people were commenting on it, and they're like, they were talking about this one and done. Like, I'm a one and done. Yeah, I'm a one and done. First time I got sober, it's like, sorry, can you see the future? Like, how do you know that you're done? You know what I mean? Today I can say that, I'm sober and clean, but I don't know what the future holds, right? My experience was that I didn't see it coming. my relapse. And so I have to live for today. And we talk about that a lot, this one day at a time thing that we go through, but it's like, that's a dangerous place to be, is like,
That
I'm done.
1,000%. You know what makes me nervous? I hear people say this in meetings. You got this.
Oh my God.
I
Yes,
cringe.
that's a good one. Yes.
You
Yeah.
got this. No, all you got is one day. Every day you have to make sure that there's certain things that you do to maintain to keep your sobriety. And there are things that you need to do. There's things you need to read, and there's instruction. The more I put into my recovery, the more I'm taking out an insurance policy for myself. Do I like doing everything I have to do in recovery? No, I don't. But I have to do that because this is my third dry date. I did go back out. I did relapse. I'm just grateful I didn't die in the process. But some people die. I just found out yesterday from one of my sponsees that a girl that she was with in treatment, 29 years old, went back out after treatment, used, and died. It's not a joke. This is like, so, when people get cocky, or I don't know if they mean to be cocky or whatever, they go, I got this. You got nothing. Learn to humble yourself, because if you're sober today, it's by God's grace. It's I worked for it. Yes, I've done the work, but I also rely on a higher power every day. And sometimes I've had to take this thing 5 minutes at a time. They say you have 24 hours, right? The maintenance of your spiritual condition. There's been moments in my recovery where I've had to take this thing, not 1 day at a time, 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes at a time, an hour at a time. Like, this is not, it's not you get sober and la-di-da and now you're like, poof, magic dragon, everything is so good. It's not like that. It's life will happen whether you drink or you don't drink. But if you just learn to take direction, which for somebody like me, that's why I had 3 dry dates. I was very stubborn and defiant. I was young when I came in, and I didn't have to do the steps because I'm young. You guys you're old and you're rotting. You have to do the steps.
You need them.
Not me.
Yeah, not me.
No, yeah. Because, I had the cute little body, this, that. Nobody cared about that but me. But I was sick when I came in. We come here because we're not all there, right? So, and then after, and being desperate in recovery, I learned to take direction. I learned to listen, and I learned to follow what the people before me did that helped me. Yeah.
One of my favorite sayings is, you can't fix a broken brain with a broken brain, right? Or a sick brain with a sick brain. It's like, I've tried that.
No kidding.
I've tried that many times. And I need another way. It's plain and simple. Like I need not Anthony's plan today, right? And how do I get a different plan? Well, I listen to your point. I take the cotton balls out of my ears and put them in my mouth for a second and just listen to what people are saying, because they've been there, right? Yeah. So you mentioned, your first experience with alcohol. Can you touch on, what the progression was like for you and sort of what led you to that moment of like, I'm done. This is enough.
Oh God. So it happened like this. So at 17 I started, and then, after 2-3 days from being hungover from the whatever that booze that I drank, there was something. I never touched that again. I was so nasty. Sick. I started dabbling with marijuana, and I started dabbling with LSD, and I was having fun. It was so much fun. And then what happened is at the age of 20, I got introduced to cocaine, and I was hanging out with somebody that was doing it, casual user. And we were out one night, and he said, I'm going to go get some. And I said, why are you going to go get that? I don't do that stuff. And, again, always feeling like an outsider. And this was back in the 80s, and in the 80s, it was, in the bar business was very, very prevalent, this blow, and everybody was on this stuff. And so he said, no, he goes, I'll go get it. I'll do some, and you just drink. I go, no, if you go get it, I'm going to do it with you. And I did it. Oh my God. That was the love of my life for the first time, I think. And I mean, the other drugs with the LSD and the the marijuana and the alcohol, they were okay and stuff, but cocaine did it for me. I felt like I had arrived. I felt like I could talk for the first time. I didn't feel different. I just felt like I could I could run the world. It was just, and the talking. Oh my God, the nonstop talking. It just, just talking and all that stuff. And really, that was my first real good experience, cocaine. And then after that, I just kept chasing that same experience, which I never got. I started hiding in closets. Oh my God, the stuff that I did. I would just be paranoid and I'm thinking, well, this is kind of stupid. So I'm all paranoid when I'm on it. And when I have no more, I want more. And, all I would think about was my deceased mother, who would look at me from the other side and be crying to watch her daughter go through this. And not only me, her other daughter and my brother, who was incarcerated for more than half of his life. He too passed away, God bless him. He was addicted to crack. And to think, like, addicts are all riddled with the shame and guilt, and that's all I felt in my existence. I was dancing. I didn't have 2 pennies to my name, borderline homeless, in abusive relationships. There was no direction in my life. I was just lost. And I don't have a story where, I used for 20 years. My using was from 20 to 23. 23, I arrived in the rooms. I was done. I couldn't die. I tried to kill myself. I couldn't die. And it's sad when I think of that. It's really sad when I think you're 23 and you want to end your life, because 23 is supposed to be, an exciting time in an adult's life where they go to university or college. I was done. I was done dancing with the devil. And I felt that I was just sitting in darkness, and I did not understand the point of my existence. And I remember when I hit my bottom, I was working in this bar in Scarborough, and I came home and it just stopped working. I remember doing a line and it didn't work anymore. Yeah. And I came home and I got on my knees, the very same thing I gave the finger to, this God. I thought if there was a God, I wouldn't have had this life, right? My mother wouldn't have died. I wouldn't be raised with a psychotic father. All of this stuff, right? I was the biggest victim on 2 legs when I got into rooms, with reason. But looking at it now, nothing happens by mistake. There was a purpose why all this had to happen, but I didn't know it then. And, I got on my hands and knees and I prayed. And I said, if you're there, you kill me or get me better, because I can't do anything like that. Now, did I pray to God while I was doing my using and stuff? Get me out of this one. I'll never do it again. Yeah. But this time it came from here. It didn't come from here. It was the cry of desperation from my soul. And that's all that I believe that God asked. I'm on standby and I'm waiting. And when you're ready, I'll be here. And I was ready. And so my journey began,
And what did that look like after that? Was it a phone call or was it?
What happened is I was in a relationship, very disgusting relationship with somebody that got in contact with somebody we used to party with, and was now a big book thumper in the rooms. And I got in touch with him, and he gave him the number of an addiction counselor, who gave it to me. And I started to see this addiction counselor once a week. I owe him my life. This counselor, he was amazing. I was scared to death of him. I don't know how many world wars did we have? 2, 3, 2?
Yeah.
This guy looked like he's been through 50. A recovered heroin addict, and he just looked you right in the eye, and he looked rough. Like you could see he's been through hell. But, it was my introduction into a different life. And that's how my journey began. Yeah. So I would go see him once a week, and he told me go to 3 meetings a week. And I'd be like, okay, which meetings once a week? He goes, well, pick one, right? 12, there's different fellowships. You could go to different ones. I go, can I smoke a joint in between? He goes, no joints. I'm thinking, wow, they're a bit strict over here. But anyway, I had to do that. And, my journey began, and I came into recovery knowing that I was an addict. I didn't know I was an alcoholic. So I had to go back out to do more research with that. It wasn't pretty. Yeah. So
what do you say to the people now that come in? Because this is a common issue. I struggled with that too at 23. I'm an addict, check. Yep. all the evidence there, but alcoholic, no. Like I'm going to drink on my wedding day. I'm going to, no, I'm going to handle the drinking. It's just the drugs, guys. Like let's focus on what's important here.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah, let's not get carried away.
Jeez.
What do you say to people, new people that come in that are like, because this happens a lot with our, especially my generation of people coming in, but also like, I don't know, I can only speak for my generation, but it's like, what do you say to people that are, I'm an addict, but not an alcoholic? Like what?
Well, I'm going to repeat what was told to me in treatment. I was shipped off the treatment in 1989, and this is when COVID. This is when the government paid everything, and my counselors and the group I was sitting in, chances are, if you're an addict, you're an alcoholic. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Well, yeah, and they made us do the step one, and we had to write how much money, going back, how much money we spent, and this, that. And listen, I only have I don't even like booze. I only have a drink because sometimes I would do blow without drinking. Like, that was fun. Yeah. Just disgusting, pitiful, and incomprehensible demoralization for sure. And they kept going and insisting. And at one point, I shut them up I agreed just to shut them up because I thought, you don't know what you're talking about. They're one of us. But you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You can't con a con. You can't fool somebody who's exactly like you. But I agreed just to shut them up, but I wasn't convinced. So I came back and I joined a 12-step group, a program and a 12-step group. And I had a sponsor I never called. I did the librarian. I never read a book. I was doing things 1 foot in, 1 foot out because, I had, this was firm and everything was firm and they're old. So I know you're there, God, but, let me do it. So I was not surrendering fully, when it comes to my social life and my, I know you want the best for me, but I'm going to do it my way. You got to get out of dancing, Mary. Yeah, but I'm still going to dance. Oh, dancing straight is another trip. And I was doing that without being high because I was having so much panic attack on stage and it was brutal. So there was a point then in my recovery where I stopped going to meetings for at least, I think, about a year. And I was lucky enough to not go back out. But I started to feel different. And what happened is this. It's the typical story of stop going to meetings, this, that. You meet somebody, they become your higher power. Next thing you know, I'm in Venezuela and I'm drinking after 3.5 years of sobriety. And when I drank, I'm amazed. I see people, they go back out for a day or two and they come back.
Oh, same. I know. Same.
I was out for 8 months.
Yeah.
8 months. And the last place I wanted to be was in a room with sober people. That was going to screw up my high. No. But the more I drank, the more they got loud. See, there's a saying that goes, be careful what you pray for because you might just get it. Well, if I'm trying to align my will with God, I can't have my cake and eat it too. Something's got to go. My ideas have got to go. I can't incorporate the old ideas into this new life. It doesn't work like that, right? It's a change of everything. And during the time that I was out for 8 months, there was this gentleman that kept calling me. It's so fascinating how God works. And I'd met this person in a bar who was in the program. And anyway, he would call me every once in a while. Hey, how you doing? I'm good. Who is this? It's so-and-so. He goes, you drinking? Yeah. Call me when you're done. Click. You're an idiot. Why are you calling me? Right? But he was just making sure the seed was planted. Once the seed is planted and you go back out, for anybody who has reservations about this, it's going to be a nightmare and a shit show. Yeah. That's it. I'm warning you right now because nobody's exception to the rule. If you're a type 3 addict, alcoholic like me, and you want to go back out after you had some time, it's going to be hell. Pure hell. Because now you know the difference. And anyway, after 8 months, I called him. I came back into the rooms and... he became my sponsor. They were right. They were right in treatment and they were right in, chances are if you're an addict, you're an alcoholic. And I can vouch for that because alcohol is a drug. It's a mood altering substance. So why would I think that would be okay? Back then I thought it could be, but you awaken slowly, right, in this program. So for me, it turned out to be the best thing I did, because it just proved that once I became a pickle, I don't go back to being a cucumber.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. And now I'm very comfortable and at peace to say I can't take anything that alters my mind. I just can't. I'm allergic to this stuff. Because once I ingest it, I'm not like the normal person. Oh, I'm getting tipsy, I'm gonna stop. Duh, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna drink till I vomit, sleep in my vomit. Good idea for me, you know, like good. It's not like people drink like this, don't they? No, they don't, right? So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how you, like you said, that you can't fix the head with the head, right? Recovery is all about going from here to going in here. It's a language that you got to go within. Recovery is all about doing the opposite of what we used to do with this. I heard a conference speaker say once, the most devastating 6 inches of history is the space between my ears. Oh, I fell off my chair and I laughed, because it's true. So recovery, for as much as, I don't know about you, but I tried to dissect what we were learning in the rooms and about God and what does this look like. Shh, go within. Just do the work. And once you start to do the work and you start to tap and you start to face who you are and you start to get introduced to who you are and you clean that stuff up and you give it away, then you start feeling this peace and your eyes start to open and you start to pay attention and you go, oh my God, look at my life now. And the miracle is I don't even think about using and drinking anymore, because my life is so good. You know, it's miraculous, really.
Yeah. And that was, I think, the thing, and weed falls into this category too, right? With a lot of people that I talk to, where it's so socially acceptable that it's not classed with cocaine and heroin and meth. And it's a very dangerous place to be, right? I heard someone, I think it was, I heard someone on a podcast once say that the worst thing that you could be is like kind of an alcoholic, right? Or kind of an addict. It's so true. It's like, I'm kind of, I kind of have a problem, right? Because it's like, for me, yeah, that means that there's that back door for more experiments, for more research, like you said. And nowadays, the cocaine people are doing is deadly, right? It wasn't as deadly as it was before. Now it's deadly. To your point, we're seeing people drop all over the place. And so for me, the mood and mind altering substances, I tried it. I tried every short, like avenue, but with all sorts of substances. And the risk now to today, hopefully tomorrow's the same, but I don't have tomorrow. Today, the risk is just so high for testing out anything else that it's not even worth it, right?
No, it's not.
So dangerous. I was going to ask you, but you kind of touched on it a bit. What is life like for you today?
If somebody would have told me when I came in, this is what your life is going to look like going forward, flash forward to 2025, this is what your life is going to look like, clean and sober, relatively healthy, learn to drive a car, have a car, bought my house, married to my best friend, actually, having direction and a moral compass back in my life, I'd be like, yeah, smoke another one. Like I never imagined my life to be like this. It's not a glamorous life, but it's a rich life filled with purpose today. And what I thought back then, which was this God giving me all this crap with the loss of a mother and the abuse and this, that, I use that today to help and work with the girls that come my way that are broken. And when I reflect on the time when I was trying so hard to kill myself, and I would pray to my mother and I would pray and I'd say, God, like, help me. And God's answer today, as I see it, not yet, because I need you to do me a couple of favors. Not because I'm perfect, not because I was given this blessing, this unmerited gift of life and a second chance of recovery. In my case, more than a second chance, third chance. And he uses me as a vessel to carry the message that you don't have to live like that anymore. If you're done, there's a different way to live. And so today when I pray in the morning, I pray and I'm in gratitude and I thank him for my life and I pray for people and stuff. And I don't really tell him what you got in store for me today, because sometimes it's like, come on, God, but whatever presents in my life today, I do the next right thing. I don't go looking for people come in my life. I give of my recovery away. I do service in my home group. I'm busy. And I do service not only in my home group, in my home and in my work. I whatever I learned in recovery or in the rooms, I apply it in my life. And really, that's what good orderly direction is. So for anybody who's confused about what's this God thing, good orderly direction. You want to get introduced to a higher power, do what's suggested to you and you'll tap into that, right? So it's like I won the lottery, but it's not the lottery of the money. I won the lottery of life that have purpose. And I can be authentically myself with all my cuckoo-ness, and I have a very dirty sense of humor, but I also have a heart, and I got my good points and I got my bad points, and I embrace all that to just be Mary, what I was meant to be in the first place. Yeah. And I'm loved, and I'm able to love, not by the whole world, but by a few. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
I always say to people, like, my favorite and most rewarding part of recovery and being sober is being able to sponsor and pass it on to another guy. Like, you can't describe it to somebody, right? Like to watch the transformation of someone, and to see the light flash in their eyes by something, not that something that you made up or came up with, or just something that you've passed on, right? Or something that my higher power, my God, has allowed me to share, right? Yeah. Whether it's an experience or something I heard from someone else one time, you know what I mean? And it's like that. I always tell people, like, stick around long enough so that you can get to the point where you can carry the message to specifically sponsoring, but like one other guy or girl. Yeah. Because it's the greatest thing.
Yeah. It's a gift.
Yeah. So Mary, how do you navigate through, when life lifes you today and something happens where, you're like, why me? When life lifes you, how do you navigate through that in recovery?
I don't say why me. Why not me? Why not me? I've been introduced to loss from an early age. Everybody in my family is dead. We die young from disease. And all those experiences have just brought me closer to God. Really. I clearly don't call the shots here. Did I get mad at God? 1,000%. Listen, my faith was tested when my sister passed. When she got sick and diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, I became a little bit dark, but thank God through sponsorship. And I had a woman in my life back then that we really did a lot of hard work and repeated steps and stuff for issues that I needed to work on. And I remember, like, the same as my mother when she died, what kind of a God takes a mother away from a 4-year-old and 2 kids? Da, da, da. And the counselor says, well, it's all about you, right, Mary? It's not about your mother's suffering. It's about you. Anyway, my sister got sick and I made it about me. And I got pissed at God. You just took my brother a year ago. Now you're taking her. Why? So not that I didn't believe that God was still there, but I got real with God. And I always get real with God. I don't go to God and go, it's said in our literature. I remember doing this years ago. Resented somebody. Pray for the people you resent. Yeah. God, I pray for this motherfucker that you give him everything, this fucking bitch that you give it. Like, that's how I used to pray, right? You fucker. There's not a name I didn't call God when I came in. Somebody had to hear it. Yeah. Somebody had to hear it. And thank God for psychotherapy and all that. Like, I did a number of things to get better. And a lot of these spiritual retreats. I remember talking to a priest going, is it okay that I can speak, tell people in the program that you swear God. You swear God? Yeah, I do. You don't? What do you mean you don't, right?
He's my buddy.
I go, I remember talking to this priest and I go, is it okay that I swear at him? He goes, Mary, God's shoulders are so big, he's fine with it.
He can
And he
handle it.
created me, right? So he knows me.
Yeah.
And why would I show up to God being a hypocrite? Listen, bitch, I'm hurting and I need you to help me, right? However language you use, God wants you to show up when you're broken. He doesn't want you to show up when you're good. Why would I even seek him out if I'm good? My pain that I went through, my depression, my pain, my anger, my desperation was the gateway for me to get to God. Because if I could keep using drugs and drinking and not have a problem go on, there'd be no reason for me to contact God. Why? I almost died. I tried to die. I was sitting in darkness. Well, let me reach out to the last straw. The very same thing I gave the finger to for having such an unfair life. I'm going to give this a try, right? My call to God and my desperation came from here, not from here, from here. So, and it's the same today. And now when something happens, I reach out to God. I reach out to my sponsor. I have a network of people through time and stuff, I have people that hold me up, like-minded people that hold me up when I'm going through a hard time. And this too shall pass. Yeah. And it does.
Yeah.
So that's how it is.
I love it. One of my favorite acronyms is, HOPE stands for hold on, pain ends, right? Like sometimes I just need to grip the steering wheel and get through today, right? Because tomorrow might not be better or worse, but it'll be different. If I get to bed, it'll be different tomorrow. And that's gotten me through a lot too, where it's just like, I don't know what's going on right now, but I trust you. I trust the outcome, and it's not up to me, but I trust the process, right?
I'm not liking what you're giving me, but I know that you got this. Yeah. He got it. I don't have nothing, but he got it. Yeah.
I can't. It's so true. Like I can do what's in front of me, and I can leave the results up to the universe, to God, whatever you want to call it, right? And I think it's also important to note, I always say this, but it's like, we come in here and a lot of people are like, God, like I grew up Catholic and I hate it and blah, 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 all this stuff. It's like, it's your own conception. It's not the Judeo-Christian God. It's not the guy with the beard in the sky. It can be, but it's up to you, right? It's just not you. It's not me.
Yeah.
You said group of drunks. I love that one. Great outdoors is another one. Good orderly direction. Sorry, you said good orderly direction, but I liked group of drunks when I came in, because when I walked into a room full of alcoholics, I felt something there, right? On the retreat,
right?
Yeah, on the retreat, there was a power greater than myself.
Oh yeah.
So pray to that. Fuck, whatever's going to get you through it. If you could go back to your younger self before you got into addiction, what do you think you would say to that version of you?
So, there's this thing, I wouldn't change anything. I don't regret anything. I would. There were some things that I've done that I would change and not redo again. However, all of that pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization behavior that I did had to happen in order for me to be instrumental to carry the message. Yeah.
It led me to where I am today, right?
Absolutely.
I want to talk about like essentials to your recovery, sort of like these tools or daily habits or things that you do. And I'm sure maybe it hasn't, but has it changed so when you first came in, early recovery, what were your sort of essentials? And then what is it, today? Has that changed?
So when I came in, I was still full of fear. I was still, for me, it was like the experience of the peeling of an onion, right? And I had all these fears, and, I had to make a certain amount of money every day, and I had to, and I wasn't really investing in my recovery. And as like I said, when I reached this dark point in my recovery where even suicide was was a thought, because it's not this not a deal where you come in and you get better and you're, oh yeah, okay, I'm good to go. No, you gotta give it away if you want to keep it. So once I became like that I really invest in my recovery and stuff, there's things that I need to do every day. There's things that so I get up in the morning, I have my coffee, I read my literature, and I pray. I have a conversation with God. I get up, I do what I have to do. Where do you need me? What do I need to do today, God? Where do you need me? Where do you need me today? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? And like I say, for me, my life a lot is service today. It's service. And service is huge because service keeps me free. Service doesn't give me time to think about my own stupidity of the Paramount Pictures. Paramount Pictures is the, this. We should all been in the movie industry. We would have been loaded because of this active imagination.
It's always a horror movie.
when you're capable of forming a resentment for something that hasn't happened yet, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And that's my brain, right? So, and I laugh at that because how fucked do you have to be? But talk to another addict alcoholic, they'll get that, right? So today I just try to do the next right thing. I like I said, I work with girls. I have a position in my group, but I also 9 years ago I enhanced my recovery by starting to go to Al-Anon because I hit another bottom in my recovery because I'm a fixer. And if you would just listen to me, you would be okay. And I'm talking sponsees. I'm talking people that are not even in the rooms and stuff. People that come around you and they drain the life out of you. I can't. It's just, I want to slap them, right? So, but I understand it too because I've been there. But because of this program, I've been given this gift that it's not like that anymore. So, I was working with people and I wanted to fix it. And God forbid they realize, well, where did I go wrong? It's not about me, right? So because I want to fix, because I want to control and that, if you would just listen to me, listen to me and land in Al-Anon like me, because that's where I ended up. And Al-Anon, it's a program where there was something in that program that I didn't learn in the other fellowship. And it teaches you a lot about boundaries. Don't go sticking your nose in the beehive because you might get stung. Keep a safe distance so that you don't get stung emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Keep a distance. It talks about live and let live. It talks about minding your own business. And you came here and you want your partner or whoever it is to stop drinking. I don't want to hear about that. They don't even really allow, a very good group will not even allow for you to talk about that. They're going to say, why are you here? Why are you here?
Yeah.
You're the problem. I'm the problem. Yeah. Why are you here? If you think that this is a program where you could stop the person, it's not going to work. So that was a ding, ding, ding. When I started to go and I started to listen, it was like bells went off. It talks about the childhood, like a lot like what we talk about, but what role did you play in your family dynamics? Because alcoholism addiction is a family disease. The ism is in the behavior. Bingo, it's in the behavior. So for me, if I look in my family, this is generational. My father's side is a lot of alcoholism. My mother's side is a lot of addiction. It's not the drug. It's not the alcohol. It's the behavior of these behaviors that are toxic in the family system. So what's really fascinating to me is people, they think that, it's all, I need to get my son help or whatever it is, a spouse, this, that, and yeah, but you need to get help too. Why? I'm not the one with the problem. Yes, you are. You play a part in there.
Yeah.
Right? You play a part. And I speak like this because I'm so passionate because you can't remain asleep and think that this is just about him. This is about the whole, it affects everything. We are like roaring tornadoes, destroying lives of people we love. Everywhere I go, I like when I was in my addiction, I was destroying, right? That's what addiction does. It's a devastating illness. And so let's talk about that. let's do some work on yourself and let's see what part you play in there. What was your behavior like at that time? How did you do to cope? This and that. And your eyes open and you're like, it's like it's the same kind of program, but it's from a different angle. And I always say Al-Anon is way harder because you got to unlearn patterns of behavior. You got to stop controlling. You got to do this deal with a little bit of detachment. Attachment is the root of all suffering. Okay, give me a break here. I'm a human being. So it's like I'm a spiritual being going through this human experience. And I think the human experience is the fucking bitch. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard because I have a heart. I fall in love with all my sponsees. We share such intimate details and I share with them my life. And how do you do this with detachment? But detachment doesn't mean that you stop caring. It just gives you that space to protect yourself, to understand that they're on a journey and you're on a journey and it's not personal. And you pray for them, right? So yeah, it's a trip, recovery. It's a trip.
Yeah.
And more will be revealed to me. And I'm just hoping and praying that I will end up at my grave with this dry date. And because I don't ever want to go back, Anthony, never. When I think about that, I cry, In 2 days, I'll be celebrating 26 years. And it's
amazing.
It's miraculous. It's just, it brings tears to my eyes because it's an unmerited gift. It's an unmerited gift. Why is it that some people live through this and get better and some people die? 29 years old with a little girl dead. Why?
Yeah.
And God's like, because I got a plan that you don't understand. And I keep thinking that because it's none of my business. My business is to keep carrying the message to anybody else who wants it. Yeah. It's
as well said.
Yeah.
It's a trip, right? Like you can't explain it,
Yeah.
More will be revealed. I love that. It's so true. It's like I can't comprehend the plan and I never will, and that's okay, right? Yeah. I'm happy you brought up the family part of it too, because it's important, and there's not a lot of information out there for families that struggle with this. They play a part. That was a huge pill for my parents to swallow. I think they're on the other side of that now, where my mom now, God bless her, she's carrying the message left, right, and center.
Amazing.
She loves it. She loves when people come in broken because she has now a role to play in their lives. And if, like you said, if they're willing to pick up the tools, I have a toolkit for you, I want to ask you this. What do you think the difference is between enabling and supporting someone in active addiction? It's a fine line, right?
Again, you got to wake up to understand the difference. And waking up means you got to become aware and accept that you too play a part in this. And if you're fighting and going, no, I'm about the problem, you're going to stay asleep. So enabling is me cleaning up after your mess, me cleaning up after your debts, me cleaning up lying and making up story and protecting you at all costs so that you could keep killing yourself because I'm making it comfortable for you. There's no reason to change if there's no reason to change. Supporting you means I see what you're doing to yourself and I love you and it's killing me. But this is so painful, I can't watch you die. I can't watch you die. So it's either you got to do something, you got to leave, because I'll love you forever and I will continue to love you, but I can't stand to watch this torture. If you don't leave or do something with your life, then I can't do this, right? So that's the difference. And it's the hardest thing to do. And it's the hardest thing to do because you don't know if they're going to die. That's the reality.
Yeah.
But if you go for your own treatment to take care of yourself in the rooms on the other side, you know what you have to do, because it could be your son, it could be your wife, it could be your kid, whoever. Really, it's God's child, and you have no power. Step one, I'm powerless over alcohol, drugs. My life is unmanageable. I'm fixing it. I'm enabling you. I'm cleaning up your debts. That's the unmanageability. And you become just as sick, if not sicker, than the addict alcoholic. So that has to change, right? So the moment you start to take care of yourself and you stop, then the disease of addiction, wait a minute. Addicts and alcoholics are sly fuckers. They're very sly in their disease because they're very manipulative and stuff, not because they're bad people, but because they're sitting in that darkness. And addiction, alcoholism is all about darkness. It's all about, what can I do to get my next fix, my next high? Where can I steal? Where can I manipulate? That's what it does. But clean that person up and they shine like a diamond, right? I read a quote from Carl Jung, and this quote never leaves me. A whole person, complete, a whole person is someone who has wrestled with the devil and now walks with God.
Mm.
And if that doesn't describe us to a T, I don't know what does, right?
Yeah.
So you clean us up and we know both sides of the coin. We become real warriors for God. Like, if you listen to what you have to do and you give away this message and you become so passionate, like I'm passionate about, there's a way out of this.
Yeah.
You know? So it's, that's the difference for me between enabling and supporting.
I love that. Yeah. Detachment. I like that word too. It's like, healthily detach. It doesn't mean I don't love you and I'm giving up. I'll be here when you're ready,
Exactly.
right? I'll be here when you're ready. But until then, I can't partake because it's killing me.
I can't torture myself watching you die like this. And, some people I know in Al-Anon that live with an active alcoholic now, and they're happy. They still live with them. But there's tools that they know that they follow, that they detach. They focus on their own recovery, and they're happy people. And I'm looking at them like, wow, because I don't know that I can live today with an active user.
Yeah.
I don't think I could. It would bother me.
Yeah.
You
kind of get taken down with them.
But it's all about choices, and it's all about, they don't tell you, do this, do that. You figure it out. Just keep coming back, and you'll know, right? So there's a lot of freedom and space there for choice.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you, right?
Yep. There's a lot of paths up the recovery mountain, as I always say.
Yeah.
What's something, Mary, that you're working on recently? You've been working on personally.
So, what am I working on? I don't know that I'm working on anything. I know that I can be very hard on myself. Today is really not about drinking and getting high anymore. Today, for me, it's how I show up in the world. Are my character defects in check? I'm working on trying to respond as opposed to react. I'm trying to always, everything today is about being in alignment, right? But I know for a fact that I'm not leaving this world with flying. I'm not the kumbaya, the next kumbaya. I'm a flawed human being. And so I will die a flawed human being. But I'm always trying to improve myself. And when I'm really centered and I'm really doing well and I'm at peace, I'm slower to react. I'm more in tune. But there's days like God, don't put a gun in my hand. I'm going to kill this fucker. You know what I mean? But it's like that. It's like, that's what recovery is. It's about, how do I show up in the world? Am I working on my controller issues? Am I still trying to fix? Am I engaging in all these crazy things, these crazy behaviors that no longer serve me? Did I gossip about somebody today? Did I, at the end of the day, if I know I've done something wrong, it's like that.
Yeah.
Always in here, the God center, that's where it resides in me. And that's what my life is today. What did I do good today? What did I do bad today? And I ask God for forgiveness, and I continue. So it's always being about the best version of me that I can give, but it's not perfect, you know. Yeah.
With a little bit of forgiveness and grace too, because
Sure.
I've met a lot of addicts, alcoholics, myself included, that we're very critical of ourselves, right? We're good at picking up that 2x4 and beating the crap out of ourselves, So it's a good point. Let's end with this, Mary. If you could say something to anyone that's struggling right now with mental health or addiction, what do you think you would say to them?
There is definitely a different way to live, and I hope you hit your bottom soon. And because desperation is the gift that's going to be transformative in your life. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. But get there, because without a bottom, nothing happens. And so would I love to see, I was driving here today and I saw some guy and I don't know, on the road, and he was on a bike and dirty and like, I don't know if he was on some type of drug, whatever. And my first words was, God help him. God help him. My heart bleeds when I see this, because I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I never landed on the streets. I hadn't landed on the streets yet. I haven't gone to prostitution yet. I would like homelessness yet, but I was heading that way. And for some reason, God seemed fit I hit my bottom, and it was like I didn't have to land there, thank God. But when I see what I see today with people and, going to watch a show and watching somebody on the nod in an elevator with track marks and that, I'm like, inside I cry and I think, God, just carry them. These are your children. You can't get through to somebody when they're on the nod, but hopefully they show up in the rooms, because every time that we do the serenity prayer, that's what we pray for the suffering addict, and if they come in the room, then our prayers have been answered. Sometimes I think God is so merciful that he just takes their life and says, no, this is done. Or I don't know what God's plan is, but the miracle that some people come into the rooms and they stay and they transform their lives, that's the prayers that are answered, for sure. For sure.
And it's worth sticking around for, too.
Oh,
just to watch that, right?
Yeah. And if you come in and you think you've done and you still fall and you still use, just keep coming back. Get back up and come back. Get back up and come back. Because, there's that saying, don't leave until the miracle happens. Sometimes you'll hear something in the meeting or whatever that you're going to go, ding, 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 the light goes off. And you're like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Love it. Thanks so much, Mary, for coming down. I love you and I appreciate you, and I had a lot of fun today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening. Please help us grow the channel and like, share, and subscribe for more content. The discussions and stories shared on this podcast are for informational and motivational purposes only. This content is not a substitute for professional medical advice, addiction treatment, or therapy. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please consult a licensed physician, addiction specialist, or mental health professional. You are no longer alone.